It's been a long day. We've been feverishly at work preparing this episode.
Yes.
For the people.
Watching footage.
For the people.
Watching highlights. Watching commentary.
We were not at the beach hanging out.
No.
Hanging out at the beach,
No.
enjoying our summer.
Yeah.
Hanging with my beautiful wife and whatnot.
Enjoying the weekend with family.
Okay, so we got things to talk about, Tom. We got Arsenal. We got Chelsea.
We've got Arsenal, we've got Chelsea, and then there's also Nottingham.
Let's
played.
talk about Nottingham.
Yeah, let's start out with Nottingham. So Nottingham won against Brentford. I'm actually kind of surprised Brentford scored. Nottingham have been putting tons of money into their team. Since I think the first season they came into the league, they bought 22 players in one summer, which is exactly what a team should do. Really great investment from the owners. And then last season, I think, was their second season in the league, maybe, and they did very well. I think they might even be in Europe now.
Wow.
Brentford, on the flip side, this summer have just let everybody go. They got rid of Mbeumo, however you pronounce that, and then also their golden boy manager, Thomas Frank, went to the potato team.
Spuds. Yeah. Frank is a big loss for them. Without Frank, yeah, they're just a full-on bloodletting. They're gonna get relegated.
It's gonna be a very tough season. They might get relegated.
Yeah. That's being generous. They're going down.
That is being generous.
They're going down.
I mean, I gotta say, okay, they lost a manager. They lost Mbeumo. I don't know who else they lost. So I'm sure they still have some quality in the team to keep them maybe from getting relegated. Aren't they even in Europe too? They did really well last season. They played very well. So I don't know. They could.
I think
they could stay up.
I think they did well, but that was under the power of Frank.
He was a magician.
I think that he
was good.
Great. It irks me that he went to Spuds because I hate their guts, and they're going to do really well under him. And by the way, I got something to say about the Spuds fans out there who were like, Ange ball, Ange Pascalapagoo. I'm like, dude, that dumb Greek is going to send your team into the oblivion with his stupid Ange ball. And there was what epitomized it is when they were down to 9 men against Chelsea, playing their high line, and then after the game, he's like, "There's only one way we play." And it's like, no, there's actually other ways to play. Yeah. And you should play those other ways for the sake of doing the thing that you're there to do, which is win the game. You don't win the game by maintain your convictions about a certain style that isn't winning you games.
Right. In that game,
can't stand that when coaches talk that way. I don't like it. I think coaches should compromise everything in order to win the game.
In that game that you referenced, didn't they? It was tie game, right? It wasn't like
we were not going to win that game if they hadn't gone down to 9 men. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a tie game. They might have even had the lead.
They were playing well.
Yeah, and I watched the game. I wouldn't normally do that, but I put myself through it. And Chelsea were not playing well either.
No.
Chelsea had opportunity after opportunity. I remember Nicholas Jackson standing on the half line, waiting for a ball to go over the top, and he would sprint onto it and get his opportunity. And the whole time I just thought, what is Tottenham doing? Why are they giving Chelsea all these opportunities? If you would just limit the number of opportunities they get, Jackson probably won't be able to finish, 1 or 2 opportunities. But they gave him 20. And then, of course, you guys ended up winning, which is stupid. But that was Ange. It was also funny how he in his first season, they were not doing well, and he was like, well, I always win a trophy in my second season, which everybody thought was a joke. And then in his second season, he won a trophy and got fired anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was smart for them to bring in Thomas Frank and get him out.
Yeah, I guess good for them that they got a trophy, but I mean, he's just trash coach, and that was a terrible experiment. It's kind of like Chelsea with Graham Potter. I was like, Graham Potter's not it. I can tell this is not going to work out. Same with Frank Lampard. I was like, I love Frank Lampard as a player.
That was bad. That was really bad.
Narrowly missing out on promotion with Derby County does not mean that you get to coach a top Premier League team.
His whole entire time, he looked just completely out of place. He had no idea what he was doing. He was never convinced anyone that he was a great coach. It was pretty bad.
He convinced a lot of people. There was a lot of...
He did, apparently.
There was a lot of people that were like, oh, super Frank. And I, again, love Frank Lampard as a player. But I knew that he was not going to cut the mustard as a coach.
Yeah. And he did not.
And he did not. He proved me right, unfortunately. Anyways, Brentford's going down. Nottingham have invested.
Win.
They're trying to compete at the top level. Good on them. That's exciting, the project they have underway there.
They're doing a good job of it, too. They got Arsenal's technical director, Edu.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Arsenal replaced theirs with Edu with Berta. And then Edu went to Nottingham. So
yeah, they're making big moves then.
They're serious about it.
Okay.
So now here's the big question: what happened to Chelsea, Joe? What happened? What happened? You guys played Crystal Palace. EZE played, and he got a free kick, which is rare, and he scored the free kick. And then with some weird new rule that they decided to enforce, they canceled his free kick. So it ended up, I think, a 0-0 draw, right? Yeah.
Yep, 0-0. Chelsea going forward were inept. Crystal Palace were swarming us. They were all over us all the time, which is kind of to be expected. I think we're going to have a lot of games like this if we don't figure out how to my point earlier, alter how we play. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving up a lot of possession to a team like that. Mm-hmm. Let them run at you. Surprise them. Start the game out with like a tough back line. Start the game out just being like, sit back a little, let them attack, give them some possession, and hit them on the counter. We'll beat any of these types of teams, Crystal Palace type teams,
right,
if we surprise them with tactics that they're not expecting, and they're like, oh, actually, we're getting a lot of ball. Let's see if we can create some chances. Then we win it, and we do a quick counter. Let's counter.
Right.
Let's just decide to be like, you know what? Even though we could possess the ball, we also know that this team plays really well without possession. That's something we've known for time immemorial.
Right.
And here we are doing the same asinine things that have been done going on years now.
Right.
With teams against Crystal Palace. One of the reasons they stay in the top league is because they know these teams are going to try and possess against them. And they're like, well, possess away. When you get into the attacking third, we're going to swarm you. We're going to put tons of pressure on you. Our team is physical, and they're fit, and they're going to win the ball and foil all your attacks because we don't concede goals when the opposition team possesses the ball in and around our attacking third. That's not how we don't do. If you don't beat us in a set piece or by counterattacking is just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they know that that's the generally how that it goes, and that's why they've stayed in the Premier League and not gotten relegated.
Right.
And they're just banking on that, and it just it's continually comes to fruition. It's like, why don't we just do something different? So it was infuriating to watch the game. It was just infuriating to see these stupid crosses get lugged into the box. Like, oh yeah, like we're gonna leap out of the air and head. It's like, no. The reason they have purchased and employed the center backs that they have is specifically for the purpose of when crosses come in, they tend to win them. Everything that they have is set up to foil teams, frustrate them, make us drive down out wide to the line, cross in, and then one of their oaf center backs just it out. It's just like they've been doing this for years. Can we not figure this out? We're not Manchester City. We can't just unravel teams.
Right.
You know, we don't have. I didn't see Bernardo Silva in blue today playing against Crystal Palace. I didn't see that. You know why? We're not that team. So let's be who we are. Let's beat them on the counter. Let's surprise them.
I didn't realize this. I watched the game, and Chelsea just could not do anything offensively. And there were some good opportunities, but I think the players not being gelled well enough, maybe. They didn't make the right passes when they could have. I think there was one particular part at the end of the game where Cole Palmer could have passed one into the side of the corner, but
he had a bad game. He didn't have a great game.
He's been having a lot of those, aside from this summer.
Okay. Okay.
But no, I do.
Effective.
I really do think though, if players played with him, if they were maybe gelled a little bit more, they would have more success. But having said that, you guys had 71% possession. They had 29, which is insane. I mean, those are really good numbers. But
no, it's not.
These teams are.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? These teams are totally used to it. They've been in the league with, Pep Guardiola for years, and Arteta, and whatever other possession teams are out there. I think Southampton has tried it, but they have figured out how to play best against a possession team. And if you're not Guardiola,
they're banking on that.
Yeah, if you're Chelsea, then if they play the same tactics that they do against Arteta and Guardiola, you guys are going to run into issues. It looks
drives me crazy when I see that. I'm like, look, guys.
Yeah.
You're not going to unlock a defense that you're giving the opportunity to defend.
Yeah.
With this type of team. Okay, of course there are certain teams where if they are where they're not good enough, whatever, whatever, forget that. The point is, this is a team that is banking on you possessing the ball and giving them the opportunity to sit back and swarm your attackers and not allow them the space to create. You know this. And you know your attackers aren't necessarily, unless they're having a day, going to be good enough to just rip through these guys. And I love Cole Palmer, and I think he's incredible. But if you look at the goals that he had against Paris Saint-Germain in the Club World Cup, you know what he was afforded in those situations? Space. Because you know what? The truth is, if you go back and you watch highlight reels of all of Chelsea's goals, or not all, but a lot, the majority of Chelsea's goals from last season,
counterattack.
From our whole history, practically, actually, since the Roman Abramovich era, it's counterattacking. That's where we win. It's a fast league, and we're faster, so let's use that. And we don't have Eden Hazard, who can just dribble through like 5 guys and score. We just don't have that. Cole Palmer is very good. He's a good dribbler. He's not that good at dribbling. it's painfully obvious to me. You just can't beat these teams if you give them the opportunity to defend. You got to surprise them.
Right.
Get them on the counter. That's
Right.
the surprise.
Right. Catch them on their back heel when they're not expecting it. Let them come forward. Let them try to build their own. Let their defenders move forward.
2 points dropped for Chelsea.
Hit them. Yeah.
2 points dropped because we're committed to a style of play that just does not consistently work in the Premier League except for Manchester City. Manchester City can do that and win a league title. Nobody else can, and nobody else does when they win a league title.
Yeah. Even Guardiola, we saw it last season, where Arsenal had been every game we've been playing against City with Arteta, we've been gaining more and more possession against City, until finally a game occurred last season, I believe it was, where he just gave up on trying to outpossess us. And maybe it was the season before. You could tell it was like, we're not doing possession. He played a very pragmatic game, very back and forth, let us have the ball. Because he realized, and I think he might have won or tied. Maybe it was the game that we tied, or I can't remember. Anyways, he's figured out that it doesn't always work. Even Guardiola knows this.
Yeah.
So they've gotten used to this. Everybody understands the Guardiola approach. It's been done. They've gone against it. They know how to make it difficult. And if you're not Guardiola, you're probably going to have some issues.
Yep.
With trying to play that way. Arsenal, speaking of which, had 61% possession against Man U. So less than Chelsea did against Crystal Palace. But we won.
Yep. You guys won. Good for you.
And it was a boring game. It was hard to watch. There wasn't a lot happening on offense. But we did get a goal early on off a set piece, the best kind, and they could not break through our defense. I mean, after that, it was like they just could not do anything on offense at all. They were completely incapable of creating anything on offense.
Yeah.
They had some decent opportunities, some shots here and there, but nothing very convincing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Arsenal just shut them down. And
Man U are going to not make Europe this season. They should probably finish top 10.
I'll say this, though. A lot of people were kind of like expecting more from Arsenal in this game. Mm-hmm. I do think Man U are going to give Chelsea and City and Liverpool a very, very difficult games. It's very likely that those teams will drop, and Tottenham especially, it's very likely those teams will drop points against Man U. I would not be surprised. They do have a lot of firepower. They've got a great offense now. They still have Bruno.
Yeah.
They've got a team, and I think the manager, he could
starting Mason Mount.
Do all right.
Crazy.
That was weird. Mason Mount is bad. He's just not great.
He's useless.
He is so average.
He's had one good season.
If you call it.
He had a good season. We won the Champions League with that man, and that was a good season. He played his socks off. People were like, "Is this guy good?" I think this guy,
he might be a good player.
Yeah. Well, people thought the hype was more than what it was, but I want to say this again. I maintained even during that season when he was playing out of his mind, I was like, this guy is not all that. He's not a reincarnation of Frank Lampard. There's nothing special about this guy. He's just hit a great vein of form, tons of confidence.
I remember the comparisons, too, with Lampard. People were making the comparisons.
Dumb.
It was outrageous.
Wrong.
It was the eye test. You can just see this guy, he moves at an average pace. He makes average passes. He makes average runs. Everything is average.
Yeah.
He can't do anything that's exciting.
No.
He's incapable of it.
He's not good. He's just young and full of vigor and full of confidence, and he's just playing well. And everything was going his way on top of that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing stopped going his way, we sold him for $55 million to Man U. I'm like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. and then he just has been terrible, like I always thought he was. so glad
Hopefully that's not the case with Madueke. Oh man.
No, Madueke will do you well.
Chelsea are good at pulling the wool over people's eyes, but
Arsenal's eyes.
Yeah. Oh my word. Every season that Arteta's managed, he's gotten a Chelsea player now.
Yeah, or a few.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think Man U is going to be better than last season because I think they've strengthened their team.
Well, which isn't hard to do. They're like 17th last season.
So
15th, 17th, yeah.
I don't know.
They're they're in 15th position today. That's all I know.
Yeah, so they're going to do better than they did last season, but it's still going to be awful. They're still awful. Their confidence is so low. I will say I loved how Amorims I loved the tactics as far as I like how he set up things.
Yeah.
Where he had 3 center backs, and then
kind of wing back
the
midfielders.
wing back guys were great. I think that is a great way to play. I wish Chelsea would do that more.
It's very smart, especially against possession.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great way to go. You can shift into an attack really quickly, and you can drop back and play really tough defense because you basically put 5 guys back.
Right.
As defense. So, which is really what's happening. They always, whenever you see, in the pregame when they show you it, it's like they have a right and a left midfielder, but they're not. They're actually going to play defense a lot of the time,
especially against Man U or Man City and Arsenal.
Yeah, and I love that formation. That's what Antonio Conte ran at Chelsea when we won our title with him, and it was super effective. And I think that, honestly, people should more often take a page out of his book with that. So I liked what Amorims did with that. I thought he
might be figuring it out.
Yeah, he might be. He might realize like the way forward is better defense and counterattacking. Because it is a way forward. Unless you are Pep Guardiola with Manchester City and their budget, it's a good idea to just plan on playing some defense. Tom.
Yes.
We got to wrap this up. I got to get moving.
Yeah, just on that note about Amorims figuring it out, he did have, and I was worried about this game, very worried, because he had some good games against Arsenal last season, where I think they beat us once, maybe in like the Carabao Cup or something. I think they got a tie or 2 against us.
So you think there's hope?
Yeah, I think Amorims. I want to pull this up, but I guess you can just look it up right now on your computer at home. But yeah,
look it up.
Amorims had some very good results against Arsenal, so it is. It was a big win for Arsenal at Old Trafford on the opening day, and we played. It didn't look good, but we got the win from Calafiori. Glad he started. Glad we have those set pieces to rely on, to fall back on. We got the win, and that's a huge game for Arsenal. So
it is huge for you guys.
But Amorims, he's something to worry about. He's going to give people a lot of grief.
You think he's going to make good on
the
investment?
I think so. I don't think he's going to necessarily get into Europe. I still hold he shouldn't even be planning on getting into Europe. He should be looking at the top half of the table and try to break into that first, because they weren't able to do that last season.
He's got the parts.
But once you get into the top half of the table, you're in competition for Europe at that point. If you're in the top 10, you're there.
100%.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the guys he picked up, people, especially Man U fans, talk about their skill and this and that. It's like these are guys that like to run hard. They have pace and they're strong.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
They're coming off really good seasons. They're not like super skilled players, in my opinion. But they're the type of guys that can help you grind out really good results. They're good facilitators in getting the ball to a competent striker. So they really just got to cross their fingers that Sesko is gonna pan out, and they gotta and that Bruno is gonna stay healthy. Still, Bruno is so key to that team.
He is huge. If he stays healthy, that's a big deal for them. Sesko, I think, is a future plan. They might think he's going to be good this season, but I think they should
need somebody to bang in some goals.
I think they should stick with Højlund more. He's still there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Højlund's. I really like him. I think that he just suffered from coming into a bad situation.
I saw a stat today about his completion percentage for opportunities is actually very good. He just doesn't get enough opportunities because they don't get the ball to him. They don't get on offense enough. So maybe if they do that, he can put some away. But
cool.
Yep.
Let's do it.